Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I am so glad that you're here today. I'm so happy to have you, and I'm so excited to talk about today's video because this is my testimony video. So this is everything that I went through that really led me to Jesus, and I filmed this video many times before, but it ended up being so long and just too detailed, so I took it down. But now I have officially split up my video and the things that I want to talk about, my main key points of my testimony, into, I believe it's 8 sections. So I really want to do like 2 minutes per section and just have you guys know a little bit about me and why I believe in Jesus and how I know he's real, and just like my life story to understanding and acknowledging and building a relationship with Jesus and how he's changed my life and who I was before Christ and who I am now due to Jesus. So let's just get right into it. Okay, so my first key point talks about my family background. For my family background, basically it was just my mom raising me, and she took on both roles of parenting, and she had a lot of jobs because she came from Romania. She really had to be strict. My family from Romania is Eastern Orthodox, so they believe like that Orthodox is the best religion and that is the religion, and I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. But I never really was into church like that. I never, like, I went, but I just play the whole time, you know. I was a child. I wasn't like, oh, let me learn, you know. I was just playing. So then my mom meets my current stepdad, and they were like, okay, you have to go to church. Now I'm in like 8th grade. And so I would go to church and I did not like it. And so I started being extremely rebellious in 9th grade and in high school, and I started claiming atheism. I feel like because of all the strictness and the like pressure to go to church, I was like, I'm done. Now we are in high school, and I would get in a lot of fights with my mom at 15. Like, I think the year 15 was the worst year of my life. It was just so rebellious, and like this was me and my mom literally the whole time. It was awful. I would go to school and I started becoming friends with rebellious kids, and I was a social butterfly. I was friends with literally anybody, and I can get along with anybody, but I was also extremely open and not in a good way. And so I started attracting and being friends with the wrong type of people, and this caused even more tension between me and my mom because they would be like, let's hang out, let's stay out late, let's do this, and I'd be like, Mom, can I please? And she always said no. She always said no. It just caused so much tension in the household. And then I started becoming friends with people who smoked weed, and I got addicted to weed. It started off very here and there with my friends, like with my friends only, at parties only, drinking at parties only. But then when I moved to college, it became a whole different thing. But before we go to college, I want to talk about in 12th grade, I became friends with this girl who was very yoga, meditation, crystals, tarot cards, sage, basically new age witchcraft, and I was still smoking weed with my other friends. So it was, that combo was so dangerous. Like, it was so demonic, and it wasn't dark in the moment, but I would have like random depression. I hadn't dealt with anxiety. I used to be fearless. Like, I was just not afraid of anything. I was not anxious of anyone because I was so open. I was just like, whatever, like, I don't care. You know what, that I'm still trying to cope, and like, not cope, but something that I'm still trying to heal within myself is not having a nonchalant attitude. Like, I was the most nonchalant person ever, and my mom would be like, you have no feelings, you have no heart, you have no sympathy and empathy. And that is the total opposite of who I am today. Then I went to college, and so I was doing like all this new age stuff. I was smoking with my friends, and I moved to college and I was like, perfect. Now I am going to try everything that I was never able to try, and I'm about to go in. So I went in, and I went to the darkest stage of my life in this year of ninth grade, freshman year of college at FSU. For those of you who don't know, FSU already in itself is a huge party school. I went to clubs. I still claimed atheism. I got tattoos, which one is halfway removed because the removal hurts so much and it is so expensive. And at this point, I'm just kind of letting it go, but I have this tattoo of a Pisces sign. This is the perfect testimony story starter. I was going out to the club and like literally a bra and some leather pants. Sorry. Don't remind me. It's like sorry to myself. I was literally toxifying myself, cussing. Then I became a pothead. So now it wasn't just like with friends. It was like I'd always have an ounce on me everywhere I went. I started selling to other people, girls at FSU. I'd be like, here's a joint for $10. Like I was just doing business. Very subtly though. It wasn't like I was like 50 grams. Like no. A quarter pound. No. It was just a little joint. But I became friends with the people who sold pounds and all that. And that is what got me saved by God. Let me tell you, I became friends with all of the drug dealers and I started being around guns a lot, being addicted to wine. Like I would always drink wine. I started having a lot of I just hate it now. Like, it's not even like hate it, but I'm just waiting for God's covenant. And nothing can get me to have sex now because I have had it. And it was just like so counterfeit. Lust is counterfeit love. It is so counterfeit. Like, no. Let's move on. Then I started being very lustful and I started getting into fast money. I also had bad character. So I promoted evil. I was arrogant. Guys, I am so ambitious and loud. A lot of people are more to themselves and like follow, and I have always been a leader. So when I am a leader in darkness, y'all, I was hurting people so much. People would talk like me and I was cussing and it was just so gross. And I'm not shaming anyone who is like that because that was me. But now that I'm pure and now that I have a fresh set of eyes and a fresh heart, it's just like sad to me for someone that's like that because there's such a better life. There is so much better than acting like that, being like that, especially dragging others down with you. Like that is so awful. And I'm just so sorry to anyone who I ever influenced in a negative way. But now that I am saved, it's complete opposite because I still have that like outgoing boldness, and I have many people who say that they look up to me and how they see I'm a strong woman of God and how I'm wise and like all this stuff. And when I'm in something, I'm in it. So like I am obsessed with God and have been since we met, and I build our relationship every day. He builds the relationship when I can't show up, and it's just like I am so into God, and God is actually the truth, the way, the life. Jesus is the truth, the way, the life. When it comes to my character, I was very prideful and I had a heart of stone, and that heart of stone would just cause me to go ghost on people and to like not care about people, to fully leave people and be totally okay with it and just cut off communication. And it was just like awful. I got deeper into yoga. I got deeper into meditation. I would sit there and I'd meditate for hours and I'd astral project, and I even tried mushrooms on my birthday. It just wasn't who God wanted me to be, but it's something that God had to take me through. If it were to just have been weed and wine and God were to save me from that, I'd be like, okay, I did it by myself. But the fact that he took me through every single thing, I just went through so many things that it's like, I could not, there was no way for me to come up on my own. And this isn't even the worst part. So I went back home for summer in Jacksonville, and I started working really, really hard because I ended up being in debt from all of the weed that I was buying and from all of the stuff that I was buying. Like, I'd go to the mall and I'd buy Jordan 4s, like the bread 4s, and they were $550 at the time. Or I'd get a V-Lone shirt for $300 and just be okay because I had a credit card, but I wasn't okay. I was in debt, down bad. So I started working at Miller's Ale House the whole summer. Like, I was working, I was getting tips, and I wasn't just saving, like I was also spending money too, and I still got out of the debt that I was in. And this whole summer, my mom was trying to get me clean, and she got so into praying for me that her and Jesus were like this. Like, her and Jesus were so close. And she was always listening to something about Jesus. She was always reading something about Jesus. She was just so close to Jesus. And she was praying heavy for me. And she was also like in this time trying to be like, hey, listen to this. Hey, did you know this? Hey, like, be clean, be clean, be clean. And so I was trying, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna like be clean with my mom. But then I was hanging out with one of my friends, and I got introduced with this drug dealer guy. And he was cute, like, I'm not gonna lie. I started hanging out with him. I started being friends with him. And next thing I know, I'm surrounded by a bunch of guns and drugs. And I am like looking around like, whoa. But I also wasn't like, whoa. Like, for some reason, I was just like, okay, okay. Like, I don't know how I was so okay with it. I genuinely don't understand. Like, okay, hanging out with drug dealers is different. But when you hang out with somebody who literally has pounds of weed stacked up on the wall, pounds of like some street Adderall, I don't even remember what it was called, perks, and like AK-47s, I'm like, how was I just okay? How was I okay? I don't understand. But what I do know is that it was an assignment from the devil. That was not from Jesus, because it was the most demonic encounter of my life. Now that I am more advanced in the truth of Jesus and how Jesus will reveal the truth of spirits and of darkness, I am able to identify that he was darkness. Like, he had so much evil within him. And due to the meditation that I would do, remember, like, I was super into meditating for hours, I was extremely aware of my mind, and I could tell that he was in my mind. And even when I'd hang out with him and he'd try to touch me or something, my body would flinch and like cringe from him touching me, because he kept trying to take my energy, and I was just like, ugh, like, he was hurting me physically, mentally, and spiritually in every single way. And God had to take me there. Like, God had to take me there because I was just so okay with the previous darkness. But with that level, I was like, take me out the game. Like, I am done. I am done. As I'm working at Miller's Ale House, I kept having people constantly and consistently come up to me and try to talk to me and speak to me about Jesus. Jesus this, Jesus that, this church. Today I went to church and it was amazing. I felt the Holy Spirit. It was just like Jesus, 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 Jesus everywhere in Miller's Ale House. And I was like, okay, y'all need to stop. Y'all need to leave me alone. Finally, due to this guy, like I'd keep hanging out with him and going on dates and like just doing that and I'd go home. My mom was trying to make me clean. I'd go with him and I'd be like, hey, I really, like, I don't want to smoke. And he'd be like, okay, fat backwood, like, here you go. And I'm like, bruh. So it was just like it was a battle for my soul, like literally a battle for my soul. So on June 28th of 2022, I was like, let me just pray. June 28th, 2022, I prayed. And I was like, God, if you are real, please show up at work today. This was before work. Please. I remember I was just laying on my bed and I was just, it wasn't even out loud. It was just like, or maybe it was, I don't know. But it was just like, I need you, God. Like, if you are real, now, right now is the time. Today is the time. Show up. Show up. So I go to work. I get ready for work. And I walk in. I'm like, ooh, today is going to be a good day. I feel it. I feel it. I feel it. Like, I just knew. I was like, today is the day. Today is the day. Like, I walked in. And this was at the beginning of my shift. So then around 5 p.m., I remember this so vividly, guys. I'm doing to go and I got so caught up in the rush that I totally forgot everything. I cannot believe I got saved, y'all. Like, I can because it happened, but like, it's just like, wow, for real, wow. So anyways, I'm doing my to-go stuff and I just hear my name being called. And so I turn around and I had completely forgotten about everything because I'm so into work right now. And I turned around and I was like, oh my gosh. And it's my mom's pastor. And I'm like, what are you doing here? Like, Romanian people do not eat barbecue, okay? We eat like meat, ciorba, soup, like not Miller's Ale House, that's for sure. So I'm just like, what are you guys doing here? Like, what are you doing here? And they were like, yeah, reservations failed at Bonefish Grill, so we just had to end up coming here. And I was like, you don't understand. You just saved my, God is here. God is real. And he was like, he was just so nonchalant. I don't remember exactly what he said, but I remember him being so nonchalant. And I'm like, no, he doesn't get it. He clearly doesn't get it, because this is like, this is Jesus. This is God. So I was just like, okay, like, y'all be seated, whatever. And I'm like, okay, God is real. So I started doing, I don't even remember if I told everybody around, but I do remember that night I got home. I looked on Amazon as soon as I got home at like 1 a.m. because I did long shifts, remember, to get out of that debt. So I was looking on Amazon and I was like, Bible. I saw a pink one. I was like, boom, that's the one. So that is my current Bible that is out there, but it is a King James Version Bible. Y'all, so I bought this Bible, and as soon as I got it, it came like express. I was obsessed. It was the thee, thou, may, thy, like, just like old time. But when I tell you guys, it changed my life. And I was like, that was it for me. So I quit smoking weed. that next day, I was done. I cut that guy off and I was just done. He was blowing up I was done. I was like, that's it. That's it. Like, God is real. God showed up. I'm God's now. And it was just like such a like decision. That's all I needed to see. How in that same day, I was like, God, please, please, please. You don't even know me, but I want to know you. If you are real, like, show up, show up. And it says, I have called you by name. You are mine. I literally was called by name. Like, I was just devoted. I was done. So I quit smoking weed. I became extremely suicidal. I was ready to kill myself. Like, y'all don't understand. Me and weed were like this. Like, if I could rap it like that or something, like me, I was so addicted to weed. I was so numb. I had to go through life feeling. I was like, oh, this is gonna break me. But I had no idea who Jesus was and how good he is and how the feelings that I'd feel and the things that I'd know and like the way my heart would change was, I wanted to feel, I want to know. Like, it was just beautiful. So I stuck it through, and I'd literally sit there with my mom and be like, I just want to kill myself. Like, I hate it here. What's the point of life? And like, I want to cry, honestly, because it's just so hard in the moment. It's just like, dude, like, it is so hard. Oh my gosh. I hate crying on camera in front of others. It was just the hardest thing that I went through. Y'all, we have come so far. By we, I mean me and Jesus. Like, this is real. How do you not? When I tell you the strength that was given to me to not kill myself, and the strength and the peace and the just like keep going, even though it was so hard. Like, that is Jesus, that is not me. So I got out of debt, and then I quit Miller's Ale House because I was able, God quickly showed me the spiritual realm. I was seeing things, and this was also at a time where I was like third eye, like prior to Jesus. And so I was just seeing so much demonicness and darkness in that restaurant, and I was like, okay, I gotta go. And I came back sophomore year of college. I moved into a whole new place, new roommate, new everything. I had a fresh start. I was taking a full semester of school. I was doing school, but I was so obsessed with the Bible that I would sit here on my bed and binge the Bible for hours, like until 5 a.m. binge. Like, I was obsessed. And so I'd sit here and I'd binge and I'd binge and I'd binge the Bible. And while I'm doing this, I am fighting demons, literally demons, like complete demonic entities were trying to get me to quit, were saying and tricking me in my mind. And like, if I were to have gone to a psychologist, which I'm going to school for that, I would be like diagnosed with schizophrenia. I'd be diagnosed with mania. I'd be diagnosed with like, literally they would think I'm crazy. The way that God works though is that's physical. When you look in the spiritual realm, it really is just demonic attack, like disease and all of this stuff that is physical, that people are like, oh, it runs in the family, it's a generational curse. Like, things are spiritual. Everything is spiritual. I fought so many, and really God through me, but I was such a baby that I fell into it and I believe it, and it had me like, I was basically under demonic oppression, like very much so. This happening caused me to go through a lot of self-deliverance, and just like I went through a lot of purification process, transformation, deliverance from demonic entities. I battled demons, I overcame them. I had no community because I cut off every single person that I knew, and I was like, I am done. God just knew what to do because he knows my personality. He made me the way I am, and he knew that I could handle that, and he'd give me strength through it. Like, he will do the same thing for you. He can and he will. He knows you. So he knows exactly how to like orchestrate everything for it to work out for you and him to become close. So anyways, I cut off every single person, and I was just like, I'm done. Like, I cut off my closest friends. I'm done. I was done. If they're not bringing me closer to Jesus, then I'm not friends with them. And that was that. I started binging sermons. I got sober from everything. I was in the process of sanctification and purification. All evil was cut off, and I had chose Jesus. The last part, so I highlighted the verse 2 Corinthians 5:17. Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. The old has passed away, and see, the new has come. So I was completely made new. I started joining churches, and I church hopped a lot. I went to like every single church in Tallahassee, and I started joining a bunch of different churches. And then I finally found one, and I stuck to it. I started serving in kids. I started caring about life. Like, my heart was changed. I became very consistent in health and fitness. Before Christ, I had always tried going to the gym, but I always chose bad habits over good ones. And now it's the complete opposite. Like, I will quickly choose a good habit over bad ones. The fact that it's only been 2 years, like June 28th of this year of 2024 will be 2 years since I was saved by Jesus. And it hasn't even been fully 2 years yet. God has done so much in just these 2 years, shows how real he is. It is not me. I am nothing, but with him, I am everything. Before Christ, me did not want a family and did not want to be married. And now, all of a sudden, I love Jesus, and Jesus makes me love others and value a family. Every single thing, anything that I turn to in this Bible will make me think, and like will fulfill something in my heart, will change my heart and my mind and my soul and my spirit. That power in itself shows how real Jesus is. I found a college group. I joined Bible study. I got a job from God. So I hadn't had a job since Miller's Ale House, and I was like, okay, I really need a job. Like, I can't just not have a job. I need some money. I applied to Panera, never got the job. I was praying, God, please give me this job to Panera. And like, I did not get that job. I did not get anything. But one day I go to Bible study. I'm telling everybody my testimony, and I was like, I really want a job with kids at a Christian private school, not just any school. It has to be a Christian school. And this girl goes, oh, my mom is a dean at one. Like, you should talk to her. I'll give you her information. And then we hear a knock on the door, and it's her mom. And I was introduced to her mom in that second, and I got the job. And so now I work as a teacher at a Christian private school, and it is such a blessing. And this job has gotten me into places, first of all, with healing my heart, with adoring kids, with multiplying love, with caring, with nurturing, with being gentle. Like, this job was such a blessing, and it's also going to lead me to my career, which is a school psychologist and a child psychologist, educational psychologist. So like God does it all. It's Proverbs 16:9. A person's heart plans his way, but the Lord determines his steps. So like, God knows our hearts. I've been good with kids since I was a kid. And he just knows what to do. Like, he plans our steps, he plans everything. And I started building a lot of community, which honestly I still struggle with, because I saw how good God is without community. And sometimes community like triggers unhealed things for me, because I only grew up with my mom. So I've been alone a lot of my life, and just being okay with being alone. And I choose myself and my peace. It's just like so secure. But community now brings something so much more beautiful. We are all one through Jesus Christ. through the breath that he provides. And I want to connect with the other parts of myself. I made amazing close friends Jesus brought to me, and I discipled them, and I was discipled, and I joined clubs, which gave me an even bigger friend group. I renewed my style and closet due to convictions. I got a new heart. My character is completely changed. I am the most loving person ever. I am so loyal, and I used to be the biggest gossiper. I just have completely new desires, and I'm very like gentle, kind, empathetic, peaceful, joy, just a fruitful person in general. I have the fruits of the Spirit, and I thrive and I desire to like prune myself or have Jesus prune me for me to reach an even deeper level. Every single day I do self-work. I put in the work because it's different. If you just believe and you have faith, okay, you are saved. But if you have faith and works, honey, you are unstoppable. You are unstoppable. Faith without works is dead. But if you put that works in there, and you put that time in there, and you realize that Jesus is the reason for every single thing, and we are here to live for Jesus, not for the things of this world, because the world is so temporary, but Jesus is eternal. For what you can see is temporal, but the things that you cannot see are eternal. Jesus is life, not the world. Jesus is life. So when you choose him and you put that time to be with him, he will transform you and change you and trigger you and test you. James 1, like he will just like get you on a roll. So I'm like, wow, it's only been a year, almost 2 years, and he has done this much because of how good he is, because of that faith with the works. It's not just one-sided. Like God isn't going to chase you forever. You have to chase him. You have to put the work in and meet him halfway, and he will meet you there, and he will do it. Like he will do it. He will get you right, and you will get right. It's like a win-win. It is such a win-win. Then I got a new mind. So I became extremely righteous, obedient, good. It's just like the beauty of learning, the beauty of cultivating a relationship with Jesus and obeying him. And like my new mind that I was given is so obedient. And that's so different from who I used to be, because I was a rebel. I was a rebel, obviously. Like I was so rebellious. I have so much new knowledge. My mind is renewed. I have like wisdom and perspective. I get told all the time, literally yesterday, how wise I am. But I think it's just Jesus speaking through me. Glory to God, because if y'all were to know me 2 years ago, you would not be saying that. Literally, it's all Jesus. And yeah, I have a new spirit, like just completely different energy, spirit, heart, mind, soul. And that just proves that Jesus is real. And I'm not perfect at all, but that progress shows Jesus, gives glory to God. And it's progress over perfection. And I stand by that, because none of us are perfect, but we can try to be like Jesus and choose him every single day. And yeah, I just want to say thank you so much for listening, and thank you for being here. And I am so grateful for you guys. I'm so sorry this was a long video. I was shooting for 10 minutes and it says 57 minutes. So I'm going to try to cut it down as much as I can. But I'm still so grateful and thankful that you guys listened to me today and we're here to hear my testimony. I hope that this showed you that God can do it for you. He did it for me, and he is doing it for us every single day. And he is so love, the ultimate love. God is love. And so if we just choose love over fear, if we know that he's so good and we live by that, our lives change. I love you guys so much, and I'm just so happy I filmed this. I hope you guys have a great week and great weekend and great month, and I'll see you very soon.